Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and coming up in today's newscast, Israeli authorities renewing vows to fight crime and violence in the Arab-Israeli sector as the 4 victims of Tuesday's terror attack are laid to rest. Meanwhile, it's now been 1 full month since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Experts meeting at the UN and NATO to discuss the next moves in the conflict. And finally, the millions of children made refugees by the war processing their pain through creative expression. Israel still in mourning. Thousands arriving for the funerals of the 4 murdered victims of Tuesday's horrendous terror attack at a shopping center in Beersheba. And criticisms likewise massing against authorities over the alleged continued lawlessness in Israel's south. Residents incredulous that such an attack was allowed to occur in the first place. ILTV's Asaf Nissan with the details.
49-year-old mother of 3, Doris Yachbas. 43-old mother of 3, Laura Yitzchak. 48-year-old father of 4, Rabbi Moshe Kalvitsky. And 67-year-old brother to 4, Menachem Yecheskel. The 4 fatal victims of a shocking and vicious ISIS-inspired terror attack on Tuesday laid to rest on Wednesday, with thousands of their communities, the public, and the government attending the services. But as government and police officials taking to the podiums to present their eulogies, the condolences turning to criticisms and the mourning to anger. Public Security Minister Omer Barlev met with boos and confusion when promising justice, having seemingly forgotten that the terrorist was killed by vigilant citizens.
ואנחנו לא נשקוט עד שהפשע והפושע והטרוריסט הזה יגיע לכלא ויישפט בכל חומרת הדין.
Then Police Commissioner Kobi Shabtai likewise blasted by the public for taking too long to arrive to the scene, especially as Israeli news reporting that the Shin Bet had already been watching the terrorist since his release from prison in 2019. A common criticism for years being that police enforcement too lax in Israel's periphery. Shabtai rejecting the remarks, however, saying police arrived within 4 minutes of receiving the call, and adding that to begin with, police cannot be everywhere all the time. And the Shin Bet saying that the suspect made no indication that he had been planning an attack, adding to speculation that he was truly acting alone, and potentially even in the spur of the moment.
Now, meantime, following the horrific terror attack this week, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett among the many promising to review and renew Israel's responsiveness to crime and violence. With me to discuss is military correspondent from the Times of Israel, Emmanuel Fabian. Emmanuel, thank you for being with us. Now, starting with the fact that Ramadan and Palestinian Land Day are coming up, which typically come with an uptick in violence, how are police preparing?
Hi. So, I would say Land Day, which is a very, very sensitive day for the Palestinian community, both in the West Bank, in Gaza, and Arab Israelis in Israel. Generally, every year, police prepare for violence and for potential attacks and rioting during the day. But this year, I think it kind of comes amid the attack in Beersheba and the holidays and a previous string of attacks in Jerusalem. So all of this is kind of being looked at as one big kind of upcoming period of the Jewish holidays and Ramadan and Land Day as well, where police forces are going to be extra vigilant and looking out for potential instances of violence.
So what material changes are being suggested? Because, you know, there were suggestions, as there were last year, of making certain concessions even to prevent violence. But is that still going to happen?
As far as I understand, there was a lot of initial kind of work to make sure that there would be no violence in Jerusalem. And then this attack came in Beersheba, which was not where police were really focusing on at the time. So I'm not sure exactly what sort of changes will be made to maybe prevent these kind of frictions or rioting. But there's definitely more of a focus now on throughout the whole country rather than just in Jerusalem or in the West Bank.
So now it's been 48 hours after the attack. What new insights are there maybe from the investigation?
So right now, the investigation shows that 2 of Mohammed Abu al-Kiyan, the terrorist, his brothers, were detained They're being investigated for, as far as I understand, failing to prevent the attack, but some reports are saying that the two brothers even provided the knife to the terrorist.
To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.